Speedway Report is a production of Wingding TV. We are witnessing something special with Kyle Larson right now. The Cup race at Indy was an absolute clown show, and Bob Jenkins was prophetic what we just saw at Indianapolis. Welcome to Speedway Report, Monday, August the 16th, 2021. From the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina, I'm Patrick Reynolds, and thank you for joining us today, sporting my Old Town Cornelius t-shirt. The red goes well with the black background, I think. Don't forget to subscribe to the Speedway Report YouTube channel. Never miss a podcast. Let's jump right in. I'm going to experiment with skipping over a victory lane lap if we bring it back at all. All the winners and losers are easily found online. Anyways, let's just talk about what happened over the weekend. Kyle Larson made this massive impact again on the world of auto racing, not just NASCAR dirt racing, but the crossover that he's doing. And I'd love to see him run in an Indy car. He has expressed interest in the past of running the Indianapolis 500. I'd love to see what he's done there. 2021, he has been victorious at the Chili Bowl, the World 600, the Kings Royal, and the Knoxville Nationals. Crown jewel races. The midgets going back in January in Tulsa, Oklahoma with the Chili Bowl. As far as his biggest ride, the NASCAR Cup Series, he won the World 600 at Charlotte in May, and in the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, winning the Kings Royal at Eldora in July, and just this past weekend, the Knoxville Nationals. The reign and versatility of this young man is off the charts. Nothing I have seen in my lifetime. I've seen some dominant performances in the Cup Series, some dominant performances in the short track world. Probably the only thing close to seeing it in my lifetime, this type of versatility, was Tony Stewart. And before that, I think we need to delve back into the A.J. Foyt's, Mario Andretti, Dan Gurney, Parnelli Jones, that type of era before we got into the bigger money and big contracts, which kept drivers in one series and sponsors and car owners protecting their investment in a driver. Now, a lot of the water cooler talk and Monday morning expert resulted around Kyle Larson cherry picking these smaller races. And I have to defend that statement that the Knoxville Nationals, for instance, is not a smaller race. Knoxville Nationals, in my brain, is bigger than the Cup Series on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. In the last 12 to 13 years of Knoxville Nationals is bigger than the Brickyard 400 was. The tire debacle of 2008 basically shot itself in the foot at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I think the first step in making the Brickyard 400 come back to its former self is give refunds to all the folks that bought tickets for the 2008 Brickyard 400 in that tire mess. Simply stating, if you paid for something, you should get something. Those race fans on that day in 2008 paid for a ticket to the Brickyard 400. They were not given the Brickyard 400. That was not presented to them. Now, whose fault it is, who cares? Goodyear tires were not withstanding the corner forces of what was then the COT, the car of tomorrow. Not the fans' problem. They paid the money. They did not get what they paid for. That pretty much was the nail in the coffin as the race has gone downhill to nothing ever since. Now, this mess yesterday on the road course, we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't want to jump ahead too far here. I want to talk about Kyle Larson a little bit longer, in that his winning of the Chili Bowl and the Kings Royal, these type of short track races, to me, are elevated ahead of some of the Cup Series races. I mentioned the World 600 at Charlotte as being a crown jewel. I consider the Daytona 500 and the Southern 500 the trio. That's kind of the triple crown, the three big ones in the NASCAR Cup Series. Always have, always will be. In its heyday, the Brickyard 400 was something special. Talladega, something big. Bristol Night Race used to be something. I don't know if it's still there anymore. But we had a lot of events on the Cup Series. They're major races. However, none of them they don't all shine brighter than these short track races just because they're Cup Series races. I consider the World 100, the Snowball Derby, the Winchester 400, Oxford 250. Some of these big short track races to me are bigger than a lot of the Cup races. Never mind the grandstand count, never mind the purse money, but just the prestige and difficulty in winning. You talk about the Chili Bowl, where the drivers race close to a week to narrow it down to the A main on Saturday night. Knoxville Nationals, 3 nights of preliminary racing, and then the alphabet soup leading up to the A main at the Knoxville Nationals. World 100 at Eldora for dirt late models. Same type of prestige. These short track races are bigger than a lot of the Cup Series races, especially with the crumbling effect of the Cup Series over the last 15 or so years. Part of that was the mess of the Brickyard 400 losing its luster at Indianapolis. Now going to the road course in 2021 didn't do a thing for me. All these road courses at the Cup Series, well, I certainly didn't ask for them. I'm not interested. I'd prefer to get rid of all the road courses in the Cup Series. They're NASCAR stock cars. They should be going left. I love road racing for vehicles that are designed for road racing. I like Formula One. I like IndyCar. I like sports car racing. I don't think stock cars belong on a road course. Does nothing for me, as was witnessed not all the time, but certainly yesterday's road course race was a mess. The last overtime to finish the race, 2 laps to go in a Cup Series race at the Indianapolis road course fits the cliche of the final 2 minutes of an NBA game. That amount of time takes almost as much time as we did in the regulation to get to that point. The curbing came apart and was launching stock cars left and right over the road course at Indianapolis, caused a lot of damage to cars, pileups, red flags, delay of the race. Indy cars also launched over it as well, not nearly much as the stock cars, which really, really hugged those curbs. The splitters, the low ride heights of the cars, which just so much of the aero push on these downforce tracks could be eliminated if we got rid of the splitter and brought the ride heights up on the cars. It certainly would have helped yesterday on the road course with this mess that they had with the snapping turtles on the road course. I just not impressed with the whole idea. I like the IndyCar NASCAR doubleheader on certain tracks. I like it. Facilities that can handle both types of cars. Pandemic last year forced us to try things that we never have before. That has been talked about for many years, is combining the Indy cars and NASCAR in the same weekend. I don't feel IndyCar should be a support class, though. IndyCar really should be the main class, because that Cup cars yesterday, gosh, it takes forever, and it was, a crap show. It was junk. If you really want to run stock cars at Indianapolis, O'Reilly Raceway Park is right around. What is that now? IRP, I always call it. Try to make it O'Reilly. It's not. It's Lucas Oil Raceway now, right? Yes, it is Lucas Oil. But IRP, y'all guys know what I'm talking about. One of the best short tracks in the nation. And the Truck Series and the Xfinity cars abandoned that. They didn't. NASCAR abandoned it for them. And the great racing. So as long as the Xfinity Series is racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you can safely say that NASCAR's commitment to the on-track product is a crock. That's what they claim so many times, that nothing is more important than the on-track product. Xfinity cars on a road course or the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a joke. IRP sits idle during this weekend for NASCAR. You should take the whole show, including the Cup Series, back over to IRP. We'd have one heck of a stock car race. Cup finish took forever, moved off of NBC to cable. Was a crap show, junk. Happy for AJ Allmendinger winning, as I used to work with him at Team Red Bull in the late 2000s. 2006-07, started at 08 season. AJ was one of the drivers at Team Red Bull. Great guy to hang around with. Tiny little guy, good race car driver. But he won a junk race, but he still won at the Cup Series with Colleague Racing. Winning at a Cup race is not easy. props to him, props to his team for getting it done. Even though I'm not a fan of it and didn't like it, I take nothing away from the effort and the difficulty of winning such a race. Even though I put the Knoxville Nationals ahead of that, doesn't mean Indy's easy to win and turn your nose up at it. Give me one or the other, I will take the Knoxville Nationals in deference to this NASCAR crap we see at the Brickyard was a shame. And I want to give a shout out to Jake Query, Indianapolis area journalist, broadcaster, and the Indy Motor Speedway Racing Network. And I knew this quote, but Query pointed it out on Twitter that Bob Jenkins called out Jeff Gordon in 1994 when Gordon won the inaugural Brickyard 400. To Jenkins, quote, "Years from now, when 79 stock car races are run at the Brickyard, we'll remember the name Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400. And Bob Jenkins said, years from now, when 79 stock car races are run at Indianapolis. So it was almost prophetic as we lost the great Bob Jenkins last week. But when 79 stock car races, and yesterday we did run stock car racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He didn't call out Brickyard 400 because yesterday's race certainly is not the Brickyard 400. But just as a stock car race, yes, that's what it was. Bob Jenkins maybe knew something. Maybe saw what the sport could evolve into, saw the direction that it could be going, looked to the future of the different possibilities that could be there. Bob Jenkins, one of the best to ever hold a microphone in the history of auto racing. We were not on the air last week, but we certainly want to send our condolences. Had the opportunity to meet Bob Jenkins a few years ago when he was inducted into the Auto Racing Hall of Fame in Indianapolis in conjunction with the 500 in 2019. Chatted with him, met him, talked with him just briefly, but it was fantastic. Told them about him and, used to watch him and Larry Nuber when I first got cable. Even before I got cable, used to listen to him and Larry Nuber. My grandmother would have scrambled cable. So growing up in Connecticut, I could go down to her house and I couldn't see the picture, but I could listen to the TV broadcast of the race. Didn't have MRN, but this was a way to listen to Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, Rockingham, things like that. And then a year or two later, we wound up getting cable ourselves in the early 80s, and it was a magic time as I got to see Larry Nuber and Bob Jenkins call the race, and ESPN's coverage was fantastic. It's a shame to lose Bob Jenkins last week. Rest in peace to him, as he created so many memories and told so many great stories through his broadcasts. And I mentioned at the top of the show that we are on Wingding TV. Well, ZTV was the creation, but it took the boys at Racers Reunion, Jeff Gilder, Dustin Gilder, the crew down there in Myrtle Beach, to actually create the television channel of ZTV that we were originally calling out on for a few years here. It is now called Wingding TV, and it's an app that is available on certain satellite and subscription services. So Speedway Report is being and has been uploaded. You want to look for Wingding TV on certain apps. Probably start with Hulu. We're uploaded to YouTube on our channel, but Wingding TV, kind of a cool name, is where we will be. Want to send our best to Robin Miller as well, longtime journalist. Guys like Bob Jenkins, I love their style. Ken Squire, Bob Varsha, Chris Economaki. Robin Miller's one of those guys that have influenced me in how I report on motorsports, what I talk about, what I see. Certainly an influence on the direction, my voice, my eyes, my ears. Robin Miller fighting cancer right now. He was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway over the weekend, chatting and visiting with folks, and we wish Robin Miller all the best, as much strength as possible. Just as you fight cancer, you wish him all the best and hope for the absolute best news and outcome possible. But always keep him in your thoughts and prayers, as well as the family of Bob Jenkins. My racer of the week is a salute to Dave Despain, another guy that really greatly influenced the show and what I do. No question, Kyle Larson. I talked to him, Knoxville Nationals winner, Yeah, he's not dropping down and cherry picking those races. It's different when Kyle Busch hops in a Busch car or Xfinity car and beats up on everybody with Joe Gibbs equipment. Still a race, still a racer. He entered it in a legal car and win. But with Kyle Larson, I don't see that as dropping down. It's a lateral move, just a different discipline. Donnie Schatz is every bit the competition that Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick are for Kyle Larson in the Cup Series. Not dropping down. That's a lateral move. You want to take on the Knoxville Nationals. Pretty stout group of guys. On social media, on Facebook, Speedway Report can be found on our own page. Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, on Racers Reunion as well. Twitter, I'm at Speedway Report and at Speedway Pat, and racersreunion.com on the forum. The YouTube channel, Speedway Report, and now Wingding TV. We're uploaded there. I'm not even sure of everything about Wingding. I got to check out a little bit about it myself. I want to thank the military past and present for the freedoms we enjoy as Americans in our daily life, including the simple things like bench racing right here on Mondays. Freedom is not free, and a veteran paid that bill for us. To all of the men and women who are defending freedom and watching Speedway Report, please take care of yourselves and come home soon. Special salute to teachers, school staff, firefighters, police officers, and paramedics in our own communities. They're quiet and modest heroes every single day. God bless, and thank you. You've been watching Speedway Report from the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina. Please like our Facebook page, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, and follow me on Twitter at Speedway Pat. Every Monday night on Facebook, on the Drag Racing List page, Bill Pratt and John Bachman take you through Drag List Live beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back live here on Facebook probably next Monday or so, once a week, Wingding TV. And you can always follow us on Speedway Report's website, social media, and YouTube. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you next time.